ready. Y'all get ready.
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Something's happening on the internet right now, and most parents have no idea. Teen girls are being openly groomed into adult content careers right in front of millions of people, and it's being marketed as empowerment. All over TikTok and Instagram, young girls are watching influencers move into luxury mansions and calling it the Bop House, where they party, they film content, and casually talk about making millions of dollars on OnlyFans.
It's called the Midwest because every single thing in it is mid. Skyline Chili. Mid. Your Cincinnati Reds who haven't won a World Series since 1990.
But what many people are starting to realize is that this is not just influencer culture, it's starting to look like a pipeline. A pipeline that normalizes adult content to girls who are still in middle school. So by the time they turn 18, the idea of selling their bodies online feels normal. And the question a lot of people are starting to ask is this: who's really behind all this?
We were called Bops anyways, like from the comments we were reading, so we were like, okay, well, let's just do Bop House. We just kind of all sat down and we were like, wouldn't it be so viral if we could all like create a house together and call it Bop House? We didn't. And so people were showing up when other people were staying in this Airbnb. So we ended up getting kicked out of this house and not being able to rent it anymore. Then when we moved on to a different house, they also recognized the Airbnb, and that is when we got broken into. And by the grace of God, no one was in the house while he broke into it. So yeah, there have been some really insane like challenges as far as like the evolution of the Bop House. So I have personally decided to go my own route. I feel like there's a lot of different things I want to step into, fashion being one of them. I want to step into more like the Latin community and just kind of find the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I love to do. So I chose to step away from the house and kind of follow my heart, follow my own path.
So tea sippers, I hope you guys are doing good today. Go ahead and grab y'all's teacups because this tea is what? Piping hot. So today we're going to talk about the dark side of the Bop House and the influencer ecosystem that's quietly normalizing OnlyFans culture and the powerful people behind the scenes who are benefiting from it all. So a few months ago, an Australian activist, author Melissa Tankard-Rist, she has spent the last few years studying what sexualized media does to young girls. She co-founded an organization called Collective Shout back in 2008. And that organization's whole mission is pushing back against objectification of women and the sexualization of young girls, especially in media and popular culture.
The research tells us that when men are exposed to images that objectify women, they are more tolerant of sexual harassment and more tolerant of interpersonal violence. Now, boys don't come into the world like this. We are socializing them to see violence as erotic, to see violence against women as arousing. On the one hand, we say we care about addressing violence against women. On the other hand, we're allowing the $150 billion US a year porn industry to prey on our children with no limits, no regulation, no proof of age requirements before a child enters a porn site, a sadomasochistic site, a rape site, an incest site, bestiality sites. I'm just naming some of the most popular porn sites. Nothing to protect our children.
In 2025, she posted a TikTok video that went viral, and it basically made my heart drop. Because in this video, what I heard was a bunch of middle school girls talking directly to the camera about how the Bop House content was affecting their everyday lives. And what stuck out to me is that one of the girls said this: because the Bop House is showing what they're doing, boys are expecting us girls to do it as well. A child in middle school said that. Another one said, the boys in their class now think that if a girl does not look like a Bop House girl, that she's ugly. Not that she doesn't meet the typical beauty standard, but that she's ugly. She doesn't look like a Bop House girl. And most of those Bop House girls, they have breast implants, filler in their face, lips done, and BBLs.
Because the Bop House is showing what they're doing, boys are expecting us girls to do it as well, because if they're doing it, why can't it be us?
Basically expecting us to live up and look like that. And like, they're gonna think when they get their first girlfriend, none of us look like that, so none of these girls are pretty, and I'm not gonna find a girlfriend because they don't like what we look like, because they're expecting that.
As we grow up, they expect us to be like the Bop House, and it makes us feel unsafe wherever we go. Boys think that if we don't look like that, we're really ugly. They want us to be as attractive as them. They expect us to do the type of things that they do.
Boys won't be as serious in relationships as they would be before, because instead of being actually involved in a relationship, they think, oh, if I want that, then why can't I just look at it instead of putting effort into getting to know.
So imagine young girls in middle school thinking that if they don't look like that, they're ugly, and boys are thinking that as well. And the problem is that no girl in middle school is naturally just going to look like that. You know, even if they're a little bit thicker, they're not going to have filler in their lips and injections in their cheeks and everything else, because they're in middle school. They're still children. So this is giving young boys and young girls a warped sense of what they should look like. So before I go any further, let me go ahead and break down what a Bop House actually is, because a lot of people hear this, but they don't know what it is. And basically it was started by two girls. And I've talked about one of these girls on my channel before. But at the time, it was a 20-year-old girl named Sophie Rain, which I've talked about. And the other young girl was 22-year-old Aisha Sophie. They posted a 6-second video of themselves standing by a pool holding a sign that said Bop House. Within 24 hours, the account had over 100,000 followers. Within 1 month, they had 1.3 million. The collective now has over 3.5 million followers on TikTok alone, and 65.6 million likes, and 8 women in the house collectively. And the 8 women who now live in the Bop House, they collectively have over 33 million followers across their individual platforms. Now, here's what y'all need to ask yourselves, okay? Because the name itself is definitely Gen Z coded. Back in my day, okay, us millennials, we called a bop a song. Like, oh, that song is a bop. That's my song. Turn that bop on. You know, that's what I thought a bop was. I thought it was a bunch of people who just sat in the house and sung bops all day. Come to find out, my millennial ass was all the way wrong, okay? Webster Dictionary defines bop as a slang word for a person who's had many sexual partners or who presents themselves in an over-sexualized way. So that's a far cry from us, you know, liking a song and calling it a bop, okay? So they decided to name it the Bop House. But let's keep it real. It really translates to the whorehouse, okay?
Boo, you whore.
So they had that in their TikTok bio. Basically, it says your new favorite girls, the only influencer house. And as they grew a TikTok following, millions of people started following these girls. And a lot of those people were between the ages of 10 and 19, meaning there are a lot of children who follow these girls who create this Bop House content as well. So when you watch their content, at first it seems very innocent, especially if you watch it on TikTok and Instagram, because that's what I initially thought. I thought these were a bunch of little white girls in cute little pajama outfits, matching outfits, you know, lip singing and dancing to, you know, songs that they felt were a bop. Okay, they were doing pranks and lifestyle content. You know, they look young. Some of them had braces on. So that's what you're thinking at first, especially if, you know, if you're a mother, if you're a millennial, if you're a Gen X. That's what you're thinking initially. But again, that's marketing. Okay? One marketing expert described their aesthetic as Hello Kitty pajama pants meets aspirational Girl Squad energy. But none of the content mentions OnlyFans directly. Their bio has a link though. The link takes you to their OnlyFans site. So while your kids are watching this Bop House content, if they start clicking around, they will click on that link, and the link in their profile takes you to their OnlyFans, okay? So this is where this pipeline starts. You're literally 2 clicks away from TikTok taking you to OnlyFans, where you're looking at these teen girls having a slumber party, and then in another breath, you're watching them do adult content and charging subscribers between $10 to $30 a month. That's a straight up pipeline funnel. That's the machine that's running 24 hours a day. These girls go on there and perform. They hope that people click on their bio. And a lot of people clicking are teens and older men. Now, the crazy thing about all this, because I talked about Sophie Rain before, she claimed that she made $43 million in her first year on OnlyFans. She's also posted screenshots showing the receipts. She's on her way to making over $100 million.
Alright, this is the last video I'm making about this. I'm not lying about my income, and I'm going to show you guys right here, right now. As you can see, I'm on Safari. I had my little shopping up, but I'm on the OnlyFans site, and I'm going to hit like that so you can see that I'm on the statistics page right here. Okay? Now, this is the last 30 days, and I'm going to refresh it so you guys can see. You know? I'm on a private jet, so Wi-Fi is a little slow, but anyways, I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna go all time. Okay, all time, and I'll refresh it one more time. Okay, and the reason why it was blue before is because I had the website added to my home screen. Okay, but yeah, I'm not lying about my income, and I have no reason to lie about my income. So here it is.
The Bop House as a collective claimed that they made $10 million in December 2024, and they made $15 million by the time January 2025 rolled around. They pay $75,000 a month for their mansion that they rent.
This is the Bop House in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, worth $75,000 per month. The mansion has 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and is a 3-story waterfront palace with a rooftop view.
Come here, I have a secret to tell you. Come on.
We got a new Bop House! With over 20,000 square feet, this is our biggest Bop House yet. And we have a whole arcade just to us. The best part is we have 5 extra bedrooms. For extra content! Shut up, bro. No one cares. Is that an acrylic? Yeah. Bathrooms even cost more than your rent. Get out!
And Sophie has said herself on camera, we can afford a new mansion every single month with the money that the Bop House is making us. So when people called her out about that and said that the numbers were not real, she bought receipts, honey, okay? And she showed y'all she's making every bit of that money. She also made sure to say that she'll be laughing all the way to the bank.
43 million is crazy. I honestly did not think I'd be making anywhere close to that amount when I started, so I just want to say thank you to all of y'all out there, every single one of you guys who have been supporting me this whole time. I owe you guys. Like, this is all because of you, so thank you so much.
So in June 2025, they did a study amongst a bunch of high schoolers, and they were between the ages of 12 and 16, and this was in Spain. And they found out that a lot of these kids not only knew what OnlyFans was, they had access to it despite them being minors, but the part that was crazy is that many of them viewed this as a viable career. A lot of them said that once they graduated high school, they themselves wanted to be OnlyFans models. They saw that as a big career opportunity for them. And I really can't fault them for this, because when I think about this, as millennials, we were groomed into watching things like The Girls Next Door, which was about Hugh Hefner and his 3 Playboy Bunny girlfriends. And one of his girlfriends, Kendra, was really young. She had just turned 18. And we could all relate to Kendra because she was funny, she was quirky, and she was closer to our age because she was only 18 years old.
I have a lot of goals. My main goal is getting that grill. The grill is a hip-hop thing, a bunch of diamonds all put together to make, you know, a grill. And the grill goes back a long way. Now that I have my grill, I definitely feel more like gangsta.
Stunner shades on. Look, there you go, Johnny Dang.
Yeah! I'm a PIMP. Love it.
And a lot of girls wanted to be Playboy Playmates. We didn't understand what it really entailed, but it looked like fun, it looked glamorous. These girls would be going on shopping sprees, eating at the best restaurants, and they just had to be a girlfriend to this old man who took care of them. So a lot of girls wanted to be, you know, the girls next door and to be Playboy Playmates. And let's not forget, we were also inundated with, you know, movies like The Players Club and other movies, Coyote Ugly, and all these movies really glamorized stripper culture. on top of the hip hop videos. So a lot of girls around that time wanted to be strippers, video vixens. So basically everything that the millennials went through, being groomed with television and music videos and stuff like that, Gen Z's going through it, and even Gen Alpha, but they're being groomed via the internet. So this is where I want to make that correlation. So I don't want to judge these young girls too hard who see OnlyFans as a career option, because I can remember myself being a young millennial and watching, video vixens like Gloria Velez and, Buffy the Body, and seeing her in the big pimping video thinking they're just having the time of their life, and me wanting to be a video vixen as well, and other people wanting to be Playboy Playmates and strippers and things like that, because it all came off as luxurious, as a way to get fast money, it looked glamorous for a lot of us.
In 2000, it became about the vixens.
We were the aesthetic. We were part of the fabric.
I literally walk up to you, say, hey, I make music videos, I would like to put you in one. Next week, you'd be on some set somewhere doing something crazy.
She had the curves, but she had the face. She had the attitude.
Women were getting paid like rappers.
The males wanted to see that. The girls wanted to be that.
I remember looking at those girls and being like, I just want to be in one music video.
So this is the same way it's being packaged and sold to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So now one of the controversies that went down with the Bop House is there was a young girl named Julia Flippo, and she joined the house, and within her first week, she made $54,000. Let that sink in. You got grown folks, honey, who slave every day, frying fish and, doing customer service, changing tires. They're mechanics, they're police officers who don't even make $54,000 a year. This young girl made $54,000 in 1 week. And another Bop House founding member, her name is Camilla. Camilla, basically took to social media and she said the following. She said, you guys are really sick because she looks 12. So it was very interesting that when she said that about Julia, the fact that she made that much money, it makes you think, well, who is signing up for her content to look at this young girl who's of age but looks 12? And the thing is, you're complaining about her looking 12, but yet and still you're filming her for content because it's bringing you money as well. So to me, that was very disingenuous for her to say that when she's also benefiting from the fact that Julia looks very, very young. So this connects to some disturbing stuff, okay? Even though these are all legal adults, they're between the ages of 18 and 24, but the branding and the aesthetic and the way that they dress and they present themselves, it's designed for them to look young. It's designed to attract an audience that's attracted to youth. And that audience is not just adult men, but it's also boys and girls in middle school who are being told that this is what a woman's supposed to look like and this is what women are supposed to do. So now let's talk about the Piper Rockelle situation, because this is where it kind of crossed the line. Piper Rockelle is a social media personality who built her platform as a child influencer. She had 12 million YouTube subscribers before she was old enough to vote. And in December 2024, when the Bop House was brand new, fans in the comments started suggesting that the Bop House invite Piper to join. Piper was 17 at the time. The Bop House posted a skit in response where they got arrested for adding a minor to the house. The video got 18.4 million views. Then in February 2025, when Piper was still 17, the Bop House collaborated with her anyways. She wasn't a member, but they definitely collaborated with her.
Wait, you were gonna do Camilla's. How did you get to meet the Bop House? That's crazy.
Yeah. So before Sophie Rain was really popular, I think I kept getting tagged in her videos because people think that we look alike in some places, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I just would guess I was a fan, not knowing what she does or anything like that. So I just followed her. She followed me back. She DM'd me and she sent me her number and stuff like that. And then I texted her and she we didn't really talk. She got really popular. And then a few months after that, I did this thing. They just started the Bop House, and it was Christmas time, and they were doing this dance in their onesies.
I know what you're talking about.
And I got the onesie, just not knowing that. And I did something I'm a very funny, I'm a very I play into stuff. Did something if you know, you know, and I pretended this was my audition, and she saw it, and then she was like, I'll fly you out to Miami and we could make some content. And I was like, okay, yes, of course. It was a whole big thing, and it was a huge thing. It was honestly it was the best time of my whole entire life, but right after that was my crash out. Everything got destroyed after that. It was just one thing after another. But I mean,
It's moving. I don't want to touch it.
What are you doing here? Don't you hate us? Brought her in here? Oh my God. Take some time. What are you gonna do about it? I'm just gonna. Are you gonna get someone to take me out, or just don't rush this decision? No, I'm sorry. Hey, Piper. Hey, thanks for calling. Guys, let's go over here. Yeah. We love you, Piper. Walk in shape, guys. Have a good time, guys.
And Asia's Sophie later clarified that they ran into her at the mall and brought her back to Sophie's place to film TikToks. The collaboration caused Joy Mai to leave the house. She says, "I'm leaving the Bop House. I'm done with the consistent gaslighting, the stupid drama, and most importantly, doing anything for views."
I'm leaving the Bop House. I am done. I am done with the consistent gaslighting, the stupid drama, and most importantly, doing anything for views. You guys are vultures. You guys will prey on anything to get you your next viral video or get you guys the most views, and I'm so over it. You guys even used me crying over something that is legitimately wrong and that I genuinely care about to get yourself views. I'm done. Fuck the Bop House.
And when Asia posted a response, she said, "I totally understand Piper being in the Bop House was wrong since she's 17. But the thing is, even though she said that, she still did it anyways because it was content." So once again, this is more of the girls in the Bop House gaslighting and being willfully disingenuous.
I never thought we would have to sit here and make this video and talk about this again. But I'm not getting bullied out of the Bop House this time. We all stand for the idea that a minor should not be in the Bop House, and we are not backing down on this topic.
Aisha decided to go against all of our wishes and formally invite Piper to join the Bop House, even after the entire internet ripped us apart for her just visiting us.
Nobody knows this, but for the past year, we were under a very strict contract that had us working for months on end and doing things that we weren't comfortable with and posting them. So now that we're able to make our own decisions, we want to stand up for what's right and what we believe in.
Aisha made a whole video saying that she would leave if Piper joined the Bop House right when she turns 18.
And if for some reason she just ended up joining the Bop House, which she isn't, I personally would be the first to leave. So that's...
And now she's going back on her word, bringing Piper to the Bop House for what? For clout?
I don't think you guys understand. Piper just turned 18. She is barely a legal adult, and she just joined the house and is already filming 18+ content. It's disgusting, and we don't want to sit here and be influencers to girls who are barely 18, showing that they should be trying this content when they haven't even given life a true shot yet.
She just became an adult, and this is the worst environment for her to be with millions of men watching us.
I only joined back because we promised that we would not be associating with certain people that did not need to be in this industry. There's a huge dark side to this industry, and no young adult should be around that.
We are done being treated like our opinions don't matter, and even though Aisha is now claiming to be the leader of Bop House, we are not going to let her decisions destroy the group that we all equally worked hard to build.
The Bop House is not an environment for any child to be in whatsoever. The whole internet knows what we do, and I really hope you guys understand where we're coming from.
So then Piper Rockelle finally turned 18 in August of 2025. And guess what? On January 1st of 2026, just over 2 months ago, she launched her OnlyFans. And within the first 24 hours, she made $3.4 million. The little girl who built the childhood audience of 12 million people on YouTube, who the Bop House joked about not inviting over because she was underage and they would get arrested, she ends up launching adult content the moment she was legally able to. Now, granted, at 18, you are an adult and you can make your own choices.
I really do think that any publicity is good publicity, because I've had some terrible publicity on my name, but it's still here.
We spoke with TikToker Piper Rockelle, who has just launched her OnlyFans account, and asked her about what it was like earning over $1 million in her first hour. Piper told us this was the first time she's ever disclosed how much money she's made, even after previously being on exclusive platforms. And she really wanted to get people talking, so even though those numbers are 100% real, she kind of messed with her photos to make people believe it was photoshopped so they would talk about it more.
I was like, you know, if I ever do be successful on this platform, I would love to kind of tweak it and make it look like, you know, I photoshopped it. Because listen, once people talk about I made $1 million in an hour, they have nothing else to talk about. Now they have that to talk about and something else to talk about. This whole industry is just kind of getting people to talk about you no matter what it is. I have been through literally such crazy things, but I really do think that any publicity is good publicity, because I've had some terrible publicity on my name, but it's still here. So
the bad publicity she's referring to is due to a lawsuit and Netflix docuseries that details allegations of child abuse and exploitation by 11 former teen content creators against Piper's mother. Piper makes it abundantly clear, however, that she has absolutely no involvement in the docuseries. Additionally, when it comes to her newfound career on OF, Piper says she really has no limits and gives some advice to people who are wondering about how much she'll show, saying,
I don't really like to put limits on myself. I'm very new and fresh to doing this, so I have no clue what the future holds for me. But at this time, you know, I'm just doing what I'm doing, and if people want to know how much I show, they should just check it out.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think of this new era of Piper.
But the interesting question is this: who built that audience on OnlyFans? And who had been following her since she was a child? But now we got to ask some questions. First of all, who was the core audience of her OnlyFans? And had they been following her since she was a child? And who's now paying to access adult content from someone that they literally sat and watched grow up on YouTube? And the fact that she made $3.4 million the first day means that there was already an audience there who had been waiting for her to turn 18. And Piper wasted no time tapping into that audience. So long before Piper Rockelle turned 18 and joined OnlyFans, we got to take it back to Bhabie, okay? So Bhabie, aka Danielle Bregoli, she first became famous back in 2016. This was after she appeared on the daytime talk show Dr. Phil. She was only 13 at the time, and she had that infamous line, "Cash me outside," how about that? The clip went viral overnight, and suddenly this teenage girl who was on a daytime talk show for being a bad girl, okay, for being a disrespectful ass child, okay, she gained millions of followers and she had millions of views. And within a few years, Danielle Bregoli managed to turn that viral fame into a music career. She signed a deal with Atlantic Record. She released songs like Gucci Flip Flop. She even charted on the billboards, funny enough. But what happened next was very interesting. Danielle turned 18 in March of 2021, and literally a day after she turned 18, she announced that she had joined OnlyFans, okay? And the response was immediate. Within 6 hours, Bhabie says that she made over $1 million on OnlyFans. So let that sink in, okay? $1 million in 6 hours. It was a lot of old perverts, honey, who couldn't wait to catch her outside and see what the hell she had to offer, okay? So she made $1 million. So some people celebrated this. They said that was a smart business move. You know what I'm saying? Get that bag, honey. Secure that bag. So you had people giving her props. But then a lot of other people were really disturbed because it's like millions of people had watched this girl grow up online. We literally watched her on Dr. Phil as a 13-year-old. But then the moment she becomes a legal adult, she's busting wide open on OnlyFans. And across social media, a lot of guys were saying they had been waiting for her to turn 18. You know, people were saying this on Twitter and everything else. So even though on the outside it sounds like a business success story, but this is just more proof that the internet had been sexualizing her for years, even before she turned 18. And even Danielle herself stated in a later interview, she basically said that she felt a lot of pressure growing up online and how difficult it was navigating fame at such a young age. And she also acknowledged that being constantly watched, judged, and sexualized on the internet from her teen years had a long-term effect on her mental health. She even did an interview later on where she stated this. She said that the people who joined her OnlyFans as soon as she turned 18 should be in jail. She also revealed that she often received explicit photos from her subscribers.
The night you turned 18, you registered to vote?
That's not what I thought you was gonna say.
Oh, you thought I was gonna say join the military.
No, I was gonna say is when I joined OnlyFans.
You joined OnlyFans the night you turned 18?
I think so, yeah.
And people subscribed right away?
Yeah.
Should they be in jail?
Yeah.
She says, I feel like they're 20 to 40 years old, probably like a white man who's married with 6 kids, definitely has a daughter my age. So while she was saying that and complaining about these same white men watching her and sending her explicit nudes, let's not forget back in March of 2025, she did a podcast with DDG. And during that podcast, she basically said that her being on OnlyFans from the time she joined in 2021, she had made over $75 million on OnlyFans.
Like, what's the most you made in a day on there?
When we first started, I made $1 million in 6 hours. Oh my God. And by the end of the day, it was at like 4 million.
Oh my God.
And now, overall, the net on it is like 75.
Oh my God. Fuck. Damn. So what you do with that money?
I got properties, cars, all type of shit.
What's your favorite car that you got?
The Trackhawk, but it's in the shop. They keep breaking my car.
That's crazy. Do you ever look back like, damn, I was just on Dr. Phil just doing some little shit, and now I'm like, you still relevant and you still like making good money. You ever think about that? It's a blessing. That's crazy.
So while she's talking mess about, these old white men and these old perverts sending her peen pics and everything else, she sure hasn't shut down her OnlyFans. Now, another interesting thing about Danielle Bregoli is that her dad came out in 2022, and their dad basically said that she was groomed to be a porn star and questions the claims that she earned $50 million from OnlyFans. So in an interview that he did with The Sun, he said the following. Ira says he believes his daughter was groomed by those around her after she shot to fame as a viral star. He says, was she groomed? Absolutely. With the way she dressed, the way she acted, everything was sex-related and encouraged by people around her. Who in their right mind thinks, she turns 18, so now it's time to make money on OnlyFans? You don't think of that in a few days. There would have been some preparation when she was under the age of 18. It's not normal to pay to see barely legal girls explicitly. The sad thing is they treat her like a product. Everyone around her just wants her to make money. She doesn't rap anymore. She doesn't sing. She doesn't go on tour. She sits in her house and she does OnlyFans. I don't know how many hours a day they are telling her to do it, but to make that kind of money, it must be time consuming. I know there's a leaked video of her with a bunch of girls doing sexual things. So that was a quote from her father.
I think any bitch who says that is mad because they didn't make as much money as me on the...
Really?
That's obvious. Like, how could you be mad that someone younger... That's like seeing somebody... That's like seeing a banker make millions and millions of dollars and saying, oh no, banking should be changed. You can't bank unless you're 21 and older just because they're young. Like, what, so if I was 21, you're going to say that it should be 25? And if I was 25, you're going to say it should be 30?
They're saying it's like child grooming. What do you...
Listen, I'm not groomed by nobody. I make all my own decisions, and I have been since I was very young.
So that just lets you know that even he says that his own daughter was groomed to do OnlyFans and that there's people behind the scenes playing puppet master. So now let's talk about Little Tay, okay? So Little Tay was a young girl back in the day. She went viral as a child for just all types of antics, cussing, acting a fool, being the youngest flexer of the century. Y'all remember Lil Tay, okay? So as soon as she turned 18, in July of 2025, she launched her OnlyFans account at 12:01 a.m. on her birthday.
So it's my 18th birthday on July 29th, and every mail has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?
She made over $1 million within the first 3 hours. The clock struck midnight and the content started.
Y'all already know what the fuck going on. We just broke the link record with the youngest link of the century. $1 million in a couple hours. I'm still the youngest one doing it. For all the grown-ass haters who've been hating since I was 9 years old, look at me now. What y'all got to say? Y'all been doubting me for 7 years. You can hate on me all you want. You can't say Lil Tay ain't winning. So for everybody out there, do whatever the hell you want with your life. Who gives a fuck what people have to say?
I'm aware that now you are a bop. I get it, but I don't think
I'm being a
anyone.
bop. Let's make it real clear. Y'all are all talentless. Y'all are bops. I can play piano, play guitar, I can sing, I can dance, I can write. Okay, if I'm gonna start, since I already made more than all y'all combined, I'm gonna start my own house and it's talented girls only.
I'm not sitting here judging these young women, but I just find it very interesting how everything is already pre-prepared for them. As soon as they turn 18 on the dot, lights, camera, action, a script, what they're going to be doing. So all of this stuff is clearly being planned before these girls are even turning 18. She turned 18 at 12:01 and bam, coochie and titties everywhere on OnlyFans. And the interesting thing that always gets me is the fact that they always make the most money on the first day. So that just lets you know that these men are waiting for these girls to turn 18 so that way they can see what they got as soon as they're ready to show it off on OnlyFans. So now let's talk about Jack Doherty and McKinley Richardson. Jack is a 22-year-old. He has 28 million followers across his platforms. All he does is troll and he does a bunch of stupid shit. I try not to pay him too much attention. But anyways.
I noticed that you manage girls. Is that true or not?
Yeah.
Managing them to OnlyFans?
Yeah. Help blow them all up on social media and they make money on OnlyFans and honestly all platforms.
I just feel like it's a grimy world, bro. Like, I'm assuming these girls are selling nudes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in no disrespect, this is a version of pimping. You're pimping these girls out. You don't think that's attacking your heart in any way?
No, because at the end of the day, they already want to do what they're doing, and it's just like I just actually make the money doing it. Because there are so many girls that actually do OnlyFans and make $0 and stuff, and they're doing it all for what? It's like every girl I work with makes like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and billions of dollars a year. Yeah,
so but I think you're smart enough now to know that money can't make you happy. Like you have a watch that's more expensive than any car I drive. You know from here that money doesn't make you happy. Do you think that it's affecting your heart that you're pushing these women in the industry in a realm that is not gonna?
I wouldn't say I'm pushing them to do it, and I don't think it's not ending well for them. Like,
did your girl do it, right or no?
Yeah.
Was she doing that before she met you?
Nah. We were together for like 6 months before we started any of that.
No jealousy in your heart of like, hey, that's mine.
It was like it was like on like I don't know, like we both were. Well, it wasn't nah.
You just think of it as a business.
Yeah.
According to McKinley Richardson, his ex-wife, who sat down for a 2-part interview and spoke on record about what happened during their relationship. And basically their relationship was a textbook example of the pressure that these influencers are putting on a lot of young women to create adult content. Now, McKinley also had her own platform. Jack didn't put her on. She had her own following. She was a model and an influencer. That's how he found her. And basically, in her own words, she said that Jack spent the beginning of their relationship being loving, being respectful, being protective, and then the pressure started. He began suggesting that she join OnlyFans, and when she said no, the dynamic changed.
Jack introduced me to him. We start talking a little bit, and he just brings up, so why don't you have an OnlyFans? This man, he's like in his 40s.
And you've never met him before?
Never had met him before. I was like, well, it kind of caught me off guard, especially like coming from an older man. I was just kind of like, that's the first thing you say to me is, why don't you have an OnlyFans? I was like, it's against my morals. That's all I said. I was like, it's just the way I was raised. Like, I that's something not in the cards for me. And I'm firm on that. And he said, fuck your morals. He said, fuck your morals. And I didn't know what to say to that. Like, I've never had anyone, especially, again, an older person saying that to me. And I was really offended. I was sitting there at the dinner table, they're just talking about random things. And when we got in the car, I told Jack, I was like, I'm offended. Like, I don't want you to put me in a situation like that ever again, because you know how I feel about all of this. And that was like really like awkward for me. And I don't want you to do that to me again. So he apologized. He said he wasn't going to bring it up again. And in that moment, just piecing everything together, I think that's when he realized
You were serious.
I was serious. I didn't want to do it. No matter how many people asked me, he never asked me. He never did, but his people would ask me. His
So he would go and
employees.
tell people like, yo, do you think she'll do it? Like, you think this week if I fly her out here, she'll do it?
Or if I buy her this, if I do this, if I do that. So he realized that. I was very firm on it. I even went so far to tell him, don't do that to me again. Like, that was offensive. Please don't do that to me again. So we go back. The dynamic at this point has changed. Like, I feel very alone. I feel like I should leave because he's, still flirting with me. We're still sleeping in the same bed. He's still like,
had you guys hooked up here?
No. We didn't hook up or do anything for a year and a half into our relationship. Nothing. I know.
No head?
Nothing.
The women who worked under him on OnlyFans began confiding in McKinley and saying that their contracts were strict and the terms were things that they couldn't speak about publicly because of NDAs that they signed. So Jack had several girls, that were doing OnlyFans under this little OnlyFans umbrella that he created. Basically, he was low-key pimping these girls out because he was getting a percentage of their money.
Excuse me, what do you do for a living?
We go to college.
Oh, OnlyFans?
No.
No, OFU.
Mom, OFU.
OnlyFans, that's not college.
All right, Mom, how do you think we really afford all this? Come on.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Come on, you want a room in there? I'll get you a room.
I'll give you a scholarship. All right.
McKinley says that Jack presented her with a contract, and the contract tied her to his OnlyFans business and gave him control over her TikTok and her Instagram accounts, basically all her social medias. He wanted it in writing, and she said that she hesitated. He told her to just sign it, so she signed it. Then in November of 2024, Jack live streamed their wedding to his 15.3 million subscribers, and he had written his own vows that McKinley had never seen. He read them out loud in front of her father, who Jack had placed center stage specifically for this moment. And the vow said, "So Shawty gets absolutely nothing when I divorce her, even if I cheat. If she cheats, she automatically owes me $10 million. I'll also receive 100% of her OnlyFans revenue moving forward, even if we divorce."
Can I give her a speech right now? Yeah. Oh, can I grab the mic? Yeah, sure. Okay. McKinley, hey, my love. Did you ever think you'd be standing here right now? No. Don't forget we have a prenup to sign before any of the IQs get a little too far, huh? Yeah, so we're gonna get you to verbally agree to this, Okay. Mom, Dad, you might want to close your ears.
Contracts lit it up.
Contracts lit it up.
My dad should stand behind you.
Yeah, come here, Dad. Okay, so Shawty gets absolutely nothing when I divorce her, even if I cheat, okay? If she cheats, she automatically owes me $10 million. After $10 million is paid off, she's limited to making only $3,000 per month, and the rest goes to me. Fair. I'll also receive 100% of her OF revenue moving forward. Even if we divorce, I can still. No talking or dating other guys for 250 years after we divorce. Sounds good, Dad?
I object.
What? That one, you don't want to see any other guys.
I object.
Of what?
It's a terrible deal.
Okay, wait, don't let me finish. She will still have to cook, clean, and do my laundry. Do you object to that one?
That's fair.
Yeah, of course, yeah. No contact with parents after argument. But hear me out. No, hear me out. Because then she's going to want to come back to me more.
Nope.
Bruh, who's this guy? All right, pal. I'll deal with you afterwards.
He said something that callous and disgusting in front of her father on a live stream that was being watched by millions of people. McKinley later on said on the podcast that she felt fully disrespected by him. It was embarrassing. We were humiliated, and my father actually cried that day. After we left, he said, "That was so humiliating, and I felt horrible." And Jack's response when my family left, he said on camera, "Thank God they're gone." Another streamer named Natalie Reynolds also alleged that Jack encouraged underage girls to join OnlyFans. He denies it, but I'm not buying what he's selling, okay? The contracts, the NDAs, the revenue cuts. He even pressured his own fiance/wife. And then his vows about owning 100% of her OF revenue, even in divorce. That makes these allegations seem very truthful in my personal opinion. Now, the marriage to McKinley only lasted 2 months. She ended up moving out of the $3.5 million waterfront mansion that they lived in Fort Lauderdale. The police body cam footage later surfaced from a violent altercation near the end of their relationship. She was so afraid that she fled to a friend's house and hid in a car that Jack would not recognize. And in November 2025, Jack Doherty was arrested in Miami Beach at 3 o'clock in the morning after standing in the middle of active traffic during a filming session and refusing to move. He was later on found to have drugs on him, including marijuana. His response from behind the bars was to ask his followers to clip the rest of the footage and send it to him because he had a shoot to get back to.
I got him. Hey, yo, you don't want to go neither. Back up. I'm just saying I got it. Back up. Don't worry about it. Back up. Yo, back up. Yo. Where you want to go? Chill. Go to the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him? You're funny. You want to be fucking funny. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to be funny. Take it on the street. On the fucking street. I know who the fuck you.
So the Jack Doherty situation is really interesting. And there's a researcher named Michelle Rauch. Basically, she says that we live in an era of e-pimps, and they operate inside of the OnlyFans ecosystem. And what she found is that men who approach women and call themselves OnlyFans managers, they promise them coaching, promotional reach, but then they end up gaining access to their accounts. They take revenue cuts, and because now they have access to all their sexually explicit materials belonging to these women, a lot of times they end up using that same material to use to blackmail these young women. So if they want to leave, they had them on tape doing some strange things for some change, and they threatened to leak it. And so then these girls end up being forced to stay in a perpetual cycle of making OnlyFans content even when they don't want to.
He, in the old house, when he used to get mad at me, and I like...
What's he gonna say?
And when I like didn't give him content, he used to like make me sleep outside. He gave me a tent, and you know there was like an old playhouse in our old house, and he used to make me sleep in there.
Look, I have your keys. Now what?
No!
Yeah,
Michael
right.
David!
It's unlocked.
No, actually.
Dislocated shoulder. You can't.
And these e-pimps never keep their promises. They continue pressuring models, and they go further than initially agreed. And because OnlyFans is subscription-based and it's behind a paywall, the structure makes it extremely difficult for law enforcement to even investigate what's happening inside of it because it's not publicly shown. You have to be subscribed. You have to pay money to see what's going on. And this is what all these guys have in common, from Jack Doherty to Tristan and Andrew Tate. They take advantage of a lot of these young women. They promise them the world. They promise them fame and money. And again, these young women are responsible for their own actions as well. But let's not forget they're young. Their brains haven't fully developed. And so they're being promised all this stuff, but at the end of the day, they're simply getting pimped out.
So why do you do it?
Why do I do it?
How is that smart? All right, let me be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, okay? Every OF girl that I've talked to eventually regrets it so bad no matter how much money they make. People making 10 mil plus, whatever it is. They all regret it and they're all sad and depressed in the end. And I'm just being honest.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but every girl I've talked to, I've seen it firsthand. And they're all very sad. They're very regretful. Oh, you don't give a... You have a soul?
No, I'm low-key, I feel the same way. I'm kind of depressed too. I didn't ever
Aw,
want
bring
to
it
do
in.
OF. I didn't want to do it. But
So why'd you do it?
this guy like low-key just made me do OF.
All right, no one can make you do it.
No, they're like manipulation.
You know, all this pimping done went from the hostro in the real world to e-pimping in the digital world. And I think the scariest part is a lot of people see this as empowerment, but is it really empowerment or is it more exploitation? And I think one of the saddest things is that the Bop girls and the OnlyFans influencers, they also tend to send a message to young girls that if you're not comfortable with what you're seeing, you know what I'm saying, if you're not down with what they're doing, then basically you might be too uptight. You're the one missing out. You know, you're a loser. You know, and these are things that young girls between the ages of 10, 11, 12, 13 are absorbing. That if they don't see this as cool and chic, you know what I'm saying, as the in thing, then there's something wrong with them. So the effects of this whole Bop and OF culture has basically started showing up in real life. There was even a video that went viral on TikTok of two young boys coming up to Jack Doherty, and they don't know him from YouTube. They don't know him from TikTok. They know him from OnlyFans. And these kids couldn't have been older than 12 years old. And it's like, well, why are they on OnlyFans? These are children, but they know him and they know his girls from OnlyFans.
Hi.
Don't run away from your family. What?
You're from OnlyFans.
Yeah, I am. Dude, that's terrible. Yo.
Yo, what's good, bro?
What's good?
Good.
Yo, that was crazy.
Wait, that's your girlfriend?
No. Should it?
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Wait, can I take a picture?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go get it.
One teacher stated this. She was 6 months into her first job, and she recently had to leave the profession entirely because she couldn't handle being sexually harassed by students every single day. A general practitioner also described treating a growing number of teen girls with injuries caused by sexual acts that they did not actually want to participate in, but felt pressured to because boys expected it. And there's also this thing called kink talk. And on kink talk, it's a genre that's on TikTok, and it's accumulated over 6.2 billion views. And the content openly discusses choking, bondage, domination, and submission. Okay? It's not just adults that are watching kink talk. There's a lot of teenagers and young people watching this, and they're practicing what they hear and see from kink talk. They're practicing it on each other. Hence, these girls ended up going to the doctor for bruises and welts and stuff like that.
Of course I can do a video on how to talk dirty. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I'm sure that's evident if you've seen any of my work on other websites, you know, like Orange YouTube.
I unintentionally unlocked a hidden fantasy in the guy I'm seeing, and I don't know what to do about it.
Okay, a hidden fantasy.
I recently hit it off with someone on a dating app. Let's call him Joe. He is hilarious, kind, emotionally intelligent, and says all the right things. We clicked instantly. After a few dates, we had the most incredible sex I've ever experienced. There were fireworks, the lot. But after that night, everything shifted. Joe became distant, and when I confronted him about it, he explained he was struggling with something personal with his family. I texted him a few days in to let him know I was thinking of him and was happy to give him the space he needed.
Very lovely of you.
Yeah. A week later, I still had no response, so I checked in again to see how things were. I didn't hear from him at all. His hot and cold behavior shattered my confidence and left me feeling like I was the easy option after we'd slept together.
Particularly after you feeling as though that sex was fireworks.
So I wrote him a kind letter stating my boundaries. Although I knew he was struggling, I wanted to explain that I knew my worth and this wasn't it. I wasn't expecting a response, and I didn't get one. It was complete radio silence until last weekend when I received a message from him while I was on leave. He reached out and apologized for his disappearance. And then he came clean about something I never expected.
What?
I had awakened a kink of his that he'd been trying to hide, and it was all he could think about ever since we'd slept together.
Yeah, what is it?
His kink is having the girl he dates sleep with men who are considerably larger downstairs while he watches. Think cuck chair vibes. Yes, so cuck holding is when an individual gets turned on by their partner having sexual acts with someone else and usually watching.
And they watch, yeah.
Joe explained that he likes being humiliated for his size, and without sounding crude, Marnie has written here, he wasn't small at all. Yeah. At first, I was shocked. I was unsure how I, of all people, had awoke this kink of his. But I'm not one to judge. I'm very open in the bedroom. I've just never considered anything like this before. My dilemma is that I really like Joe. I've been single for most of my 20s, albeit a few dates here and there, and this is the first spark I've felt with someone in a very long time. Plus, the sex is amazing, which is so hard to come by. But I don't know how I feel about sleeping with other men in front of him. It's so far from my reality that I wonder what my friends and family would think. Should I give his kink a try for the sake of building this relationship further? Or do I forget about him and let go of one of the best connections I've ever had?
Youth psychologist Emma Carlisle was asked about the rise of places like Bop House, and she stated this: it creates unrealistic beauty ideas and links self-worth to sexualization, which is incredibly damaging for young girls who are still developing their sense of identity. And that's the damage that we got to talk about. It's not the quiet damage, it's the cumulative damage of a 12-year-old constantly watching content that teaches her that her value comes from how she looks, how desirable she is to young boys and men, and how much money she can make if she's willing to just go a little bit further. Like I always say, different platform, different generation, same message. We got our messaging from television and music videos. They're getting their messaging from places like TikTok and Instagram. So now let's talk about the business side of OnlyFans, the money. OnlyFans takes roughly 20% of creators' earnings. In 2024, the company generated over $650 million in revenue, while creators collectively earned more than $6.6 billion. The platform now has over 3 million registered users. The system works perfectly for them because when influencers spend years building their audience while they're underage and launch adult content the moment they turn 18, the platform immediately profits. They profit from the audience, and many critics are now calling the pipeline. Regardless of the size of the industry, there has been very little regulatory scrutiny about how this ecosystem operates. Now, what's very interesting about the person who owns OnlyFans, for y'all who don't know, it's a Jewish man. His name is Leonid Radovensky. He's the owner of OnlyFans. He's also a Jewish businessman from the Ukraine. He is AIPAC's #1 American donor. And we all know AIPAC leads back to Israel. Well, the OnlyFans owner is their #1 donor. I'm going to read this to y'all real quick. OnlyFans owner Leonid Radovensky, I don't know if I'm saying his last name correctly, my bad, and his wife are listed in internal documents of having pledged $11 million to the pro-Israeli lobby group American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, making them the largest donor named in those records. So here's some more history on Mr. Radovensky, okay? According to Forbes magazine, he founded a website called Cybertania, and the business offered users links to password for content including pornography beginning way back in the 1990s. Before stepping in to buy OnlyFans, he also owned a successful adult webcam business. So this man has been dabbling in the porn industry since the 90s. Like I always tell y'all, you have to follow the money.
The largest donor to AIPAC is a guy named Leonid Radovensky. He's the owner of OnlyFans. This needs to be understood. The people consuming pornographic content from OnlyFans are not only destroying themselves, but without even knowing, they're funding the genocide of women and children in Gaza, funding wars in the Middle East, and funding Israeli control of American congressmen and the control of the U.S. president. People need to think about that before they go on that site.
I want to show you how holy this war is. This is the founder of OnlyFans. Now, OnlyFans is a porn site. It's just like sex workers. I'm not really exactly sure what they do on OnlyFans, except there's a lot of sex and a lot of nudity, and a lot of guys pay a lot of money for it. And this guy, this is Leonid Radovensky, he is worth about $8 billion. He is the #1 funder of AIPAC. So he's making money off of porn, which also a rabbi owns Pornhub, by the way. And he's making all this money off of creating a degenerate society, reeling Americans and maybe others around the world into degeneracy, ruining families, ruining wholesomeness in America, going totally against Christian values, making a fortune off of it, using that fortune to then fund AIPAC, which is, of course, the lobby group that pretty much talked all of our politicians into getting us into this war. So that is the root of why we're even in this. It's AIPAC, it's Epstein that ended up blackmailing a bunch of our government officials, maybe even Donald Trump. Otherwise, I don't know how this makes any sense at all. Trump was questioned about getting into the war and he says, well, I had to. What do you mean by that? Are you being blackmailed by the Epstein files? And this is a Christian holy war that God has anointed? That's really the argument here. That this is holy, this is wholesome, that this is sanctioned, this is a wonderful thing. And meanwhile, you've got porn and Epstein and the slaughter of children. You can still tell yourself that this was some sort of a prophecy of God's. Has it not occurred to you that maybe you're actually the evil one? Could it be that you're wrong on who is who in this battle? Because I just have a really hard time believing that God is behind the guy that's making Pornhub and OnlyFans, and the Epstein files is all part of God's plan. I just have a hard time believing that.
So they understand how to play on people's emotions, how to manipulate these young girls. They basically taken porn into the 21st century. It's gone from shooting videos and putting them on DVDs and VHS to now it's digital. It's OnlyFans. It's the Bop House.
Do you think that selling your nudes online and do you think the money that you make from that translates to any sort of intelligence or skill, or do you accept the fact that you have no skill and maybe lack a lot of intelligence, which is why you had to go down that path?
That is not why I had to go down that path. I have a degree.
A degree in what?
Philosophy.
You could have become a very well-respected lawyer, had a good career. What do you think your kids are going to think when they said, oh, my mom had two options? They could have been a philosopher and a lawyer who made a lot of money, but they decided to be an online whore for 2 years, and then when they got ugly, now nobody wants to hire them anymore because they ruined their name and their reputation.
So another question that we need to ask ourselves is, who is really behind the Bop House? As we see the OnlyFans owner, he has a long history in the porn industry. And I find it very interesting that all of a sudden, the Bop House came out of nowhere back in 2024. These girls are barely legal. So we gotta ask ourselves, who is behind these girls living in these lavish homes? Many of them are barely 18, they're in their very early 20s, but yet they're moving into multi-million-dollar mansions, they're filming luxury content, they're throwing parties, and presenting a lifestyle that looks extremely expensive. Logically, this raises a lot of questions for me. How are teenagers and early 20-year-olds able to qualify for leases on a mansion? You literally have, young kids in their early 20s who need their parents to co-sign an apartment, let alone a mansion that costs $75,000 a month. Who are the adults behind this house? How are they getting approved to rent a home that costs $10,000s of dollars per month?
All right, so this is the most requested video, the Bop House tour. So come on in. Let's show you guys around. Pick up the pace.
Make sure you take your shoes off, please. This is the entryway of the Bop House. Beautiful. This is like not the main floor though. There's more upstairs that we'll get to, but this is just a cute little hangout spot. We make TikToks back over here. I know you've seen them in the videos. Here's a glimpse of outside. There's 2 bedrooms on this floor. There's an elevator. Right, there's 3? There's 3 bedrooms on this floor. Oh, and there is an elevator. One that doesn't work. Wait, there's 4 bedrooms down here. This house is so big. We just don't know how big it is. This is 1 bedroom. Oh, this is cute. Nice. Yeah, very cute, very cute. But then there's other ones all around down here, but there's people sleeping. Bob's sleeping in them right now, so we can't do that. All right, up the stairs we go. This is where all the magic happens. Living room, kitchen, Julia Bop. Julia eating her acai bowl.
That's like an extra small. I didn't know there was an extra small acai bowl.
So, living room. Wait for it. Wow. She's actually doing that herself. And she's making it go up herself. I am. Yeah, cute little fun hangout spot. This is where we watch all the Bop auditions. So if you guys want to be a member, please keep sending in auditions. This is where we watch them all. This is our kitchen. Look at the hidden fridge. Look how cool. What's in it? Red Bull and water. Nice. That's all we need. Whole trash pile. Because we all order Uber Eats. Our beautiful dining room table. We've had a lot of beautiful dinners here. We haven't touched that once. This is the 3rd story we're coming to. This is the master. It's a little messy right now. Do you know how to open the blinds? Oh, that's the TV remote. This is the bathroom and the closet. Low key though, for the master bedroom, this closet's kind of mid. There's not 1 full body mirror in here. That's how you know. Yeah, that's how you know. And you have this beautiful closet, but not 1 full body mirror. Oh, I do love this though. Yeah. It's kind of mid. This is kind of mid for how big the house was, or is. I think it's beautiful. No. This is the shower. It's fucking huge. Me and Camilla like to shower at the same time because there's 2 shower heads, so we'll sit here and shower together and recreate the Spider-Man video that we also take baths in together. There's a roof? Yes, rooftop. More stairs, my favorite. Look at the beautiful view. Gorgeous, gorgeous. It smells like hot. It is hot. It's very hot. No, but it smells like moist. Well, I don't think... Turf? Yeah, it is what it is. It's turf, so I think maybe, poop at the bottom.
Eventually, we're gonna have a 100-foot yacht right here. Eventually, that we're currently in the process of buying. But her car just got stolen.
She's currently in the process of buying.
Julia! Julia, you matched the pool! Don't fall down.
Aisha! I didn't even know you were
Aisha's
here.
down there doing her makeup.
What? I'm here. Million stairs.
Yes, go.
Boom, boom.
My poor sock.
This is the most iconic Bop House place right here, where you see all the TikToks being filmed.
So beautiful. We have our beautiful Julia. We have our beautiful Aisha.
As you can see, there are a lot of rooms that aren't filled, so
Yes, send in the applications. We are looking for new members. So please.
new members.
And if many of the girls do not have major income before joining the house, who is funding the operation? Because mansions, production crews, content managers, security, they don't appear out of anywhere. There are adults behind the scenes. There are managers, there are investors, there's brand strategists, and I wouldn't be shocked if possibly the owner of OnlyFans helped fund this as well. I'm just saying. There are a lot of people in high places with big money who understand that if you put a group of young influencers in one house and film everything and build up the hype on social media, it can quickly turn into a very profitable business model. But the critical question that we all need to ask is, are these houses simply influencer collectives thought of by two 20-something-year-olds? Or is this more structured? Because when you look at how the content funnels its audience towards adult platforms like OnlyFans, it begins to look a lot less like random influencer culture. It seems more like a carefully designed and orchestrated marketing funnel. Now let's keep it real. The concept of influencer houses is nothing new. The model's been around for years. My youngest son used to watch Teen 10 and FaZe Banks. They all had houses. Teen 10 was created by Jake Paul back in 2017. And that idea was pretty simple. You had a group of young influencers in one luxury house, and they would all film content together. They'd create drama, collaborations, and viral moments. And because everybody in the house was promoting each other, their audiences grew faster. Soon after that, other influencers put together their own collectives, and one of the first ones that became really popular on TikTok was the Hype House. Again, the same formula, big house, young, beautiful influencers living together, content being filmed around the clock, millions of followers watching daily lives. But the key difference is this, okay? The difference between the Hype House and Team 10 versus the Bop House is the type of content that's being promoted. The earlier influencer houses were mainly focused on things like dance trends, pranks, lifestyle content, YouTube vlogs, brand deals. But the Bop House, their content often centers around sexualized imagery, adult themes, sexual dancing, and the promotion of OnlyFans subscription platform. And that's where the concern should be at. Because now that these influencer houses are being tied to adult platforms like OnlyFans, that's when the business model changes. Now the goal is not just viral content, the goal is traffic conversion. From TikTok and Instagram, they're building their audience, but then they're converting them through curiosity to go to OnlyFans. And then once the audience is eventually redirected elsewhere, now they've definitely gained a subscriber on OnlyFans for a few months, if not a few years. So again, we got to ask ourselves, especially when you have billionaires like Leonard Ravinsky, who comes from a porn background, it makes me question the whole situation. Who's really behind this? Because a lot of these houses didn't appear out of thin air. Somebody had to build this formula, tap these girls on the shoulders, invest in them, and create the adult decisions behind the scenes making it all happen. So this is why I feel like this whole Bop House is nothing more than an OnlyFans pipeline. Because the moment these girls turn 18, those audiences are redirected to an adult subscription platform. They gain the followers, then the fame, and then they monetize. So this is why, to me, it just doesn't feel random. Somewhere along the way, a generation of young girls are quietly being taught that their value, their power, and their success is tied to how much attention their bodies can generate online. Some people will call that empowerment, other folks will call it exploitation. But what nobody can deny is that this entire industry is growing faster than the conversation around it. Because 10 to 20 years from now, when we look back at the era of social media, The real question may not be why these platforms existed, but why nobody stopped to ask what it was doing to the kids watching. And that's the same thing we're having to reckon with now as millennials and the things that we were exposed to in the 90s and the 2000s. So tea sippers, I leave the conversation up to you guys. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Do you believe the Bop House and the influencer culture around it is simply young women taking control of their own money and careers? Or do you believe it's creating a system that's quietly influencing and shaping expectations for the next generation? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys check out my other deep dives. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Feel free to share this video. And most importantly, make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. And I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.
Want the latest news in the streets? Join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.